Lovely people, we are gonna make the most incredible mac and cheese. I've got a recipe for you that's gonna blow your mind. You interested? Let's do this. First up, a nice big knob of butter into a pan. Finely slice 3 of these onions. As the butter comes up to the heat, 15 minutes to make these onions go sweet and gorgeous. Medium-high heat, a stir every now and again, beautiful. So after 15 minutes, you can see the onions have shrunk back down. It's lightly golden. So I'll take 3 tablespoons of flour, and that's our thickening agent to turn our milk into a silky, gorgeous sauce. And that will immediately suck up all of the moisture from the onions. And then I've got a litre of milk. So slowly, slowly, we'll add that milk. As soon as it's absorbed, we'll add some more. So the rest of the milk goes in, and we're gonna let that simmer while we cook the pasta. So of course, we're using macaroni. I'm only gonna cook this for 5 minutes. I wanna half cook the pasta and then let this simmer while we get onto the other flavorings of this sauce. So when it comes to choosing the cheese, you could do one, of course you could, but I wanna do it my style, right? I want that balance of flavor, depth of flavor, and stringiness, ooziness. 100 grams of cheddar. Now that's a good flavor and a good melter. Then we're gonna go to a really stringy, gorgeous cheese. So this is a raclette, but you could absolutely use a lovely Gruyere. 100 grams goes in like that. And then Parmesan. I'll do that on a finer side. And Parmesan just has that amazing ability to join up flavors, make it all make sense. Now let's just talk about nutrition. This is not a green dish, but it is one of the most beautiful things ever. But also, as indulgent as this is, it's a brilliant carrier of seasonal veggies. So lovely fresh or frozen peas, bang, amazing. Get an asparagus in there, fantastic. Handful of spinach. But today, we're keeping it really simple. And this pasta has had nearly 5 minutes. Get into this pasta water and steal some of this starchy water, and we might need that later. We've only half cooked the pasta, and there's good reason for that, because when it carries on its journey of cooking, it's sucking up that flavor, not water. So I'll get that in, and I'll save back just a little bit for on top later. A teaspoon of English mustard gives it an amazing color and gentle heat. A little hack of a friend of mine that they swore by. And I tried it, and I did it as a blind taste because I swore that it wouldn't work, and it did. Mango chutney, 1 teaspoon. Slightly strange, but go with it. We're gonna add a little bit of this starchy water to get ooziness and silkiness. So it's really important to do this off the heat. We don't wanna be boiling cheese. At this point in the story, we go in with our macaroni, give it a nice little toss up. I'm excited, and I forgot one seasoning. Of course, Worcestershire sauce. A good couple of little swigs in there, and we are good to go. We're gonna take this gorgeous, silky, pasta-y goodness. Look at that. So that goes in the oven for half an hour at 200 degrees Celsius, which is 400 Fahrenheit. Now, what I wanna do to make it even better is contrast that creamy, cheesy gorgeousness. So we're gonna make a pan grattata. Bacon, herb, garlic, what's not to love? As it starts to get lightly golden, that is your cue to put the breadcrumbs in. And these flavored breadcrumbs are like a gift on a simple pasta dish, even lovely stews, amazing. These breadcrumbs have gone golden and crunchy. They smell amazing. Come on, half an hour. Oh, look at that. Come on. Mac and cheese, beautifulness. Crack. Come on. You know it makes sense. A few beautiful salad leaves. The ultimate smoky bacon. Crispy bits. Enough talking, let's just eat it. That's what we want. Nice cheesy bits. Like the depth of flavor is off the hook. One of the things I like to do, which is my own personal problem, is to take a vulnerable, empty gem lettuce leaf and then load it with mac and cheese. And I actually do this at home, and my kids are around the table, and they're just looking at me going, you are such an idiot, you are like. But then when they try it, they realize that I'm a missionary, trying to make the world a better place through mac and cheese. Don't judge me. I say no more, but click the link and cook it, you'll love it. Hi guys, hope you're well. Okay, we're gonna make a really delicious, nutritious, super quick chicken meal. This is marinated chicken with lemon and spices, grilled on the char grill and served with smashed sweet potato and beautiful sprouting broccoli with a little olives. Let's get into the spirit and the idea behind a marinade. Down here, we have got spices. Black pepper here, paprika, cayenne, we've got the turmeric, and a little seasoning of salt. Take this as a recipe, and if you don't like the spice, you can pull it back. You can try different spices. You can make it your own. So I'm gonna grate some garlic in here. Take my little lemon, cut in half, lemon to one side. The fragrant skin is unbelievably tasty. We'll squeeze the lemon juice in, like this. I'm just gonna finely chop the parsley here, and in it goes. And then just a little piece of onion. There's acidity in the onion, and this acidity works in marinades to really help penetrate the flavor in. I've got a little bit of tomato puree here, just a little heaped teaspoon like that. And then we'll start bringing it together. And normally I'd use an olive oil, but I'm using rapeseed oil here. Look at that, right? That is flavor right there. Get your chicken breast, cut that chicken breast in half. I'm gonna get that marinade, rub it all over. And of course, if you could leave this in the fridge overnight, fantastic. So I've got a griddle pan on full whack. We're gonna go in to the char grill like this. Also, I've got the lemon here. We're gonna char grill that. And this is interesting because when you char grill a lemon, instead of just getting acidic lemon juice, you get sweet and sour. So guys, look, let's have a little look. This has had about a minute and a half. Look at the color, guys, look at the color. And that is flavor. It's caramelizing, look at that. So I wanna kind of pair it up with sprouting broccoli here. Boiled sweet potato, gonna smash it. And let's plate up. Very simple midweek dinner that's tasty and really, really healthy. That is done. Look at that, guys. Some nice sprouting broccoli here, little olives. If you just break over just a couple, the flavor is phenomenal. Got the lemon that's char grilled. Just finish that of that lovely rapeseed oil. Squeeze that lemon over the top. Should we have a little try? Yum. Very, very good. That's absolutely delicious. A lovely, quick, midweek meal, full of flavor, full of flavor. And if you want more inspiration, go to jamieoliver.com. We've got loads of recipes, loads of chicken recipes. But guys, get marinating. It's great. Take care.
With a hack to reduce cooking time, buckle up, your Sundays are about to get revolutionised.
So I'm not gonna parboil the potatoes like a traditional roast. We're gonna get this going really quickly. Go into a large pan or roasting tray. Leaving the skin on will save you time. It's more nutritious, and actually it's really delicious. You get a nice nutty flavor from that. Now, cut the peppers up the same size as the potatoes. Nice pinch of salt, pepper in, just a little olive oil. This is just gonna coat the seasoning around the peppers and the potatoes. I've got a 1.5 kilo chicken here, absolutely beautiful. And I'm gonna make a paste first to flavor that. So go in with 1 tablespoon of vinegar, then the same amount of olive oil. This is smoked paprika. I'm gonna put in 1 tablespoon, a good pinch of salt and pepper, and then just mix it up with your hands. This is a really fantastic way to make things utterly delicious. Now, with the chicken, I wanna show you a preparation that is gonna speed up the cooking time by about 30 to 40%. Run the knife very carefully down the back, and then we can open this out and rub that paste into the legs, the breasts, the wings, on the underside of this carcass here. And then when we start roasting that chicken and the drippings from the skin and the bones go on the potatoes and the peppers, we're gonna create the most amazing flavors. So big flavor doesn't have to cost loads of time or money. Right, let's have a proper clean down and then let's get this in the oven. I've got the oven preheated to 200 degrees. Cut the chicken, lay it on the top of the bars, just like that. It's gonna rain down on these potatoes. And I'll just come in halfway through, give it a little shake. But that's gonna cook really quickly, 45 minutes, and good things are gonna happen very fast. So the chicken's been roasting for about 40 minutes. What I wanna do now is just a last minute flourish. I'm gonna use thyme. Put that in the fat, and you need lovely fats to transmit the flavor of the herb. So back in the oven, just for 5 minutes. It smells incredible. Come on, absolutely delightful. What I love about these potatoes is they're not a classic roast potato. So you've got peppers, and then you've got a lovely chunk of thigh meat there. You can see how juicy that is. Let's just take that beautiful breast meat. Like that, look at that, just pearly white, beautiful meat. Come on, let's have a try. The sweetness of the pepper is amazing, but then complemented with the smoked paprika, just gives it this big flavor. That, my friends, is a combination. 5 ingredients working really, really hard. House smells amazing, a really surprising dish that's like sunshine on a plate. Minimizing ingredients and cooking time is gonna be good for your wallet too. So, what are you waiting for? Go on. Things like rice, tin tomatoes, beans, chickpeas, spices, herbs, all of that stuff, you can make great things. And one of my favorite things to do with all of that is a good chili. A really good chili where you can get loads of veggies in there. It's proper delicious. So look, first job, the base of this chili. Get yourself a nice onion, peel it and roughly chop it. Now, if you haven't got an onion, maybe you got a leek, you could use spring onions. Again, we can swap these things out, guys. No problem, let's be flexible. So hot pan, the onions go in, like that. Hot pan, I'm gonna use 2 cloves of garlic. Just slice it up any old how, doesn't really matter. Garlic goes in. It sounds exciting already. We're gonna go chili. So I'm just gonna kind of roughly finely slice it. So look, I'm probably gonna use that much. If you've got any leftover chili, right, 2 things I can do. Throw them in the freezer. They're really good, you can grate them over things. Or just put them in the salt like this, and it kind of just stops it kind of going minging and moldy, right? And then you can use it the next day. So, chili goes in like that. Let's get some spice into your life. So take a teaspoon, and I want level teaspoons, right? We want to go easy on the spice. So cinnamon goes in, and then a level teaspoon of cayenne pepper, or smoked paprika, delicious. And then we've got the cumin. Get a wooden spoon and then just stir it up. Now guys, if you want to get mega flavor out of veg, make it big and robust, then this part is really important. Have a look what's happening in that pan, right? We're bringing out the natural sugars in the onion. And it's not just onion that has natural sugars. Carrots have it, squash have it, peppers have it too. So even with the peppers here, get your thumb and just thumb it, right? And then that way is the best way to tear out these lovely chunks like this. So we'll get rid of the seeds, and we won't waste any of these little bits here. Don't want to waste anything. And we'll do the same with the yellow pepper. So I want to roughly chop these up into like kind of 2 centimeter chunks. And this is just the beginning of the story. It's going to get better and better and better. And the most important thing for me with a chili is there's kind of an obsession by throwing in the wet stuff now, early, right? That's where the big problem is. Do not get those tin tomatoes in there too early. What we want to do is what you can see there, right? We want to slowly fry. We want to caramelize the veg. That's going to earn you massive, massive flavor points. So let's have a little toss up. Look at that, it smells amazing. We'll keep stirring it. And then I want to get some coriander stalks. So any stalks of fresh herbs that you've got, it could be mint, basil, or coriander. I'm using coriander today. Just finely slice those stalks out, because often they end up in the bin, but they're full of flavor. So if you haven't got fresh herbs, please don't worry. This recipe is flexible to what you've got in your pantry and your fridge, okay? So stir in the coriander. And we're going to cook this for about 10-15 minutes on a medium-high heat to get really intense and delicious. Now, if you sweet potato, of course you could use a normal potato. Of course you could use squash, okay? Again, swap outs are important. The sweet potato, I think, is delicious. It counts as one of your 5 fruit and veg a day. We want to get the veggies in you guys to keep you healthy, to keep you optimal. So sweet potatoes, yum. I'm just going to clank them up into like 1-inch chunks. Then I've got the oven on at 200 degrees Celsius, and I'm just going to kiss these with a touch of oil, a good pinch of salt and pepper, and then a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of cayenne pepper, and here's a little bit of cumin. Now give these a little toss, right? And it will stick to it And as that roasts for about an hour, right, that is going to be delicious. So it's had about 10-15 minutes. It's shrunk down. It smells incredible. Now we can think about adding beans, tomatoes, stuff like that. So as far as beans are concerned, these are brilliant. But whatever you can think of or got, use that. So 1 tin, juice and all, will go in. That's your protein, incredibly important, you know, for your nutrition if you're not eating meat. We're going to put in some chickpeas as well. We'll go juice and all. Chickpeas are amazing. They suck up all the flavour. Then we're going to get the tomatoes in there. I like to use whole plum tomatoes if possible, but you can use the chopped or the passata. Please don't worry. So 2 tins of plum tomatoes I will use. And then what I like to do is just rinse out the tin with just a little bit of water. And we're good to go. That chili is going to be fantastic. So give it a nice little stir up and then break up some of those tomatoes and they'll continue to disintegrate as you simmer away for about 20-25 minutes until it's delicious and unctuous. It's going to be so, so good. I might give it a little kiss of seasoning now. And then, importantly, what are we going to have it with? Flatbreads, could be delicious, but rice is the thing for me. It just makes me feel good. So I'm going to get a pan on, and then I'm going to get a regular builder's mug, and I'll fill that with basmati rice, so another classic store-cupboard ingredient. And what we do is we go 2 cups of water to 1 cup of rice. It works every single time, and we call it the absorption method because the rice will just absorb that exact amount of liquid. And it will give you light, fluffy, fresh, nutty rice. So a pinch of salt, lid on, get that thundering away. That'll be ready in 12 minutes and you can just switch it off. This will tick away for another sort of 20-25 minutes. Time for a little clean down. So here we go, guys. After 20 minutes, it's looking like this, thick and gorgeous looking. The rice is steamy and done. Can you see all the little holes that come through? So that is going to be beautiful and fluffy. Let's plate some up, but not before we get the sweet potatoes out. So these have had just under an hour. Oh, come on, look at that. They've shrunk up. Look at the crispy skins as well. They're going to be amazing. So I'm literally going to put those straight in. And what's nice is they all kind of almost rehydrate with the chili sauce. Just gorgeous. So one of the great things about sweet potatoes, you know, like pumpkin and squash, is they'll keep a long time in your home. Get them in soups, stews, you know, make nice little oven chips, stuff like that. Absolutely delicious. So we're good to go now, guys. Let's turn it off. Always an important time to taste your food. Correct the seasoning, if need be. Delicious. Now, if you want to kind of give it a little bit of a pick-me-up, you could use some herbs, for sure. Any soft herbs, just a little gesture of it, roughly chopped up, would be lovely. A little swig of vinegar, or lime juice, or lemon juice, really helps a dish like this, which is quite savoury and a little bit spicy. So I'll just put a little squeeze of lime in there, but literally use what you've got to hand. And then, let's plate up. So get your rice, get a fork, and give it a nice little fluff up. So a nice wad on the plate. Look at that, fluffy. Of course, you can go for brown rice as well. Very, very nice. And then we want that chili. Big chunks of that sweet potato. So good. Then you've got the beans. Really nice. Massive plate of food. Loads of goodness. And for me, the thing that I really want to have with it is a nice little splurge of yogurt. It could be sour cream, you know, whatever you've got available to you. And if you've got a few bits of coriander, happy days. So whether it's rice or tortilla wraps, or, you know, swap one veg out for another, or slip a bit of meat in or not, it's a very, very generous, flexible recipe that I think you're gonna love. Right, look, enough yapping. I love a good chili. What I love is the sweetness you get from the peppers, but then the hunks of sweet potato on the crispy skin and that little bit of fluffy rice. So, so good. So the recipe I'm going to show you now is a delicious cauliflower cheese mac and cheese. Absolutely scrumptious, and it's all about getting the good stuff in a classic comfort food dish. So of course cauliflower is the king. Got a little heart of celery and 2 leeks. I've got 1 random bit of fennel, but that's not, you don't have to use it. Me and Jules just want to show you how we're kind of doing nice food and cooking with what we've got, what's available. Let's start off here. I've already taken the liberty to cook my pasta. So the same pan I'm now going to put on a heat, and I'll start adding these veggies here, and I'll chop that up and we'll start adding to the pans. The butter will go in. I'm going to fry off these lovely veggies, and then the celery can go in, and then the fennel. It is in the supermarket. If you do see it, have a try, it's delicious. So we'll fry that off. Now let's talk about the cauliflower. So cut it in half and cut it into florets like this. Often that's what you see, which means that nearly 1/3 of the actual cauliflower is over here going in the bin. Finely slice these leaves. Let this fry off for about 5 minutes and soften up. And then what we want to do is add the flour that turns it into a thickened sauce. Just use regular plain flour, about 1 heaped tablespoon. We'll mix that in. That will start to suck up all the fat from the butter, and then we're going to slowly add milk. I have only got 1 full bottle of this left and half a bottle. I know for a fact I'd get a rollicking from Jules if I put a whole one of these in here now, because we haven't got much. So I'm going to put half milk, half water. So now I'm putting, the rest that I need. Water. Okay, so let that boil now and simmer, and cook it out for about 5 minutes just to soften all the veggies. And then I'm going to season it up now. I'll adjust it later with some nice pepper, a little bit of salt, and then for flavour and colour, a heaped teaspoon of English mustard. Stir that in. So let's just carry on now with the cauliflower here. Just get your cauliflower florets, slice them up into beautiful little chunks. Now it's time to talk about the cheese. This is what we've got in our fridge right now. Because I kind of grab and put things back, I've got odds and ends of Parmesan. I've got a tiny little quarter of cheddar. I've got some halloumi, which I've only quarter used, and a chunk of feta. So I'm just gonna have a little grate up. So the sauce is blipping away beautifully. We now turn it off, and the cheese goes in, and I'll put most of it in, apart from a little bit to go on top. So the pasta goes in with the cauliflower here. Frankly, you can use whatever pasta you want. What I have to do now is waz this up. You can use a hand blender, a food processor, or a liquidizer. So, I'll be back in a second. Liquidized it, lovely people. That's what it looks like. So in with the sauce. So look, mix up your lovely sauce. Now, you've probably been wondering what this is. This is starchy cooking water, okay? And this is from the pasta. If it's a bit wetter than you expect, then by the time it's baked, then it's going to absorb into that pasta, and it will be just blippy and saucy and gorgeous. I'll just put some cheese on top. What we could do is take a waste product that is one of the most wasted products in the whole of Britain, and that's bread. And every time I've got away from stray, I just pop it in the window, let it go stale. Literally, once it's properly stale, that's what you get. Just get a tea towel. What you can do is give it a good bash. And we're going to create breadcrumbs. In here is just straight breadcrumbs, but here I've got some herbs that I've got in little pots. Thyme here, lovely, oregano or marjoram, and some rosemary. You could put in dried herbs, no trouble at all. I'm going to use some garlic, beautiful. So a little bit of oil goes in, and that just kind of allows the natural flavours to come out of the herbs, and it will make the breadcrumbs really golden. There you go, a beautiful tray bake, mac and cheese, bigging up cauliflower and all those veggies. About an hour before lunch, I'll whack that in the oven at about 180 degrees Celsius, and then I'll cook it for about 50 minutes until it's blipping and crispy and gorgeous. Wow!
Yummy.
Look at that. Okay, should we serve up?
Yes. Yeah.
Go on, buds.
Thank you.
Woohoo! What do you reckon, kids? Took Mum down ages.
So guys, what do you reckon? Cauliflower mac and cheese.